back to my kitchen, everyone. Today I wanted to show you guys how I make fried bora. Now when you hear a Guyanese person say fried something, really what they mean is sauteed. And it doesn't actually mean that we're going to fry it in oil. So I have about a pound of bora here, and before we get into the whole cooking process and the rest of my ingredients, I wanted to show you guys how I clean and cut the bora. So what you want to do is you want to get a few pieces of bora. You want to line them up, and then you're going to want to cut off the ends. So I'm going to cut off the end on this side. And then what you want to do is cut it in about 1/2 inch pieces. You don't want to cut them too small because you want them to stand up to the cooking process. You don't want them to start melting. You just want to cut until you get to the other end. And once you get to the other end, you want to cut away the little stems that are left there. And you want to discard those. So once I finish slicing up my set, I finish off the rest. Once I'm done cutting up my bora, what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to run it under some cool water, and I'm going to wash it thoroughly to get any dirt or grit that might be on the outside off, and then we can go into the cooking process. I also want to mention all of the ingredients I'm going to be using today. I have some potatoes that I've sliced up, and I've left them in some water so this way they wouldn't oxidize. I have some sliced up tomatoes, I have some sliced onion, some green seasoning, some salt to taste, some scallions, some hot pepper, and a few tablespoons of cooking oil. Today I'm using vegetable oil, but you could use any oil of your choice. And I also wanted to mention that for some people, it's hard to get bora wherever they live. For the most part, I know that you can get it at most Asian grocery stores that may be around you. I know that sometimes I'll find it at my local Asian grocery store and sometimes I don't. So I'm just going to finish cutting up all of my bora, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like when we're ready to start cooking. Alright everyone, I have all of my bora that I've cleaned and I've washed over here. I cleaned it by running it under some cool water and then leaving it in my bowl here. And then I have all of my ingredients ready and I'm ready to cook. I want to put my stove on a high heat for now just to start off the cooking process, and then I'll end up lowering it a little later. So right now I'm going to add in some oil. Then what you want to do is you want to add in your onions. And you want to give that a quick stir. The pan was really hot when I put them in, so soldering just a little bit. And you want to just break up all of your onions and saute it for about 30 seconds to a minute. After you add in your onion, you want to add in your hot pepper. And I like to put more than one hot pepper just because I like my food pretty spicy. If you don't like it spicy, you can totally omit the pepper or just lessen the amount. Then I want to add in all of my green seasoning. This is going to add a great flavor to it because the green seasoning has cilantro and a lot of garlic inside. And you want to add in all of your tomatoes. Let me give that a stir. And at this point, you also want to add in your salt. The reason I'm adding my salt now is because I want these tomatoes and these onions to cook, and I want them to start melting just a little bit. So I'm going to let this sit here on a medium heat, and I'm going to let it fry for about 3 minutes, just until the tomatoes start to break down. At that point, we'll start adding in the rest of our ingredients. So I've allowed my tomatoes and my onions and that green seasoning mixture to saute in my oil for about 3 minutes. And you can see the tomatoes are starting to break down beautifully. Now what I want to do is I want to add in all of my Bora. And you want to give that a quick stir. At this point, you can also add in all of your potatoes, because the Bora does not take that long to cook. It'll cook about the same times that the potatoes take. So I just want to add in all of my potatoes here. And you can see I've sliced them not too thin nor too thick. So I want to put that to the side. And I want to add in all of my scallions now. The reason I'm adding them now, I know that they're going to cook and they're going to break down. I want that flavor that the scallions have to come out in the cooking process. You want to just keep stirring that. You don't want it to start sticking at the bottom. And I did forget to mention before that I will be using some black pepper. And as usual, all of my ingredients and my measurements will be in the description box down below. So I'm just going to add in a little bit of black pepper here. The black pepper and the hot pepper are totally optional. I just like the spice, and I feel like the black pepper flavor is needed in there. So I just want to stir this up. And you want to let it fry on a high heat now for about 5 minutes. And this is because after I added in the Bora, all of the water that I had it in started loosening out of the Bora. So you want it to fry and get a little dry now. So I'm going to let this fry on a high heat for about 5 minutes, and then I'll show you guys what we're going to do in the next step. I've had my Bora frying here on a high heat for about 5 minutes now, and all of the water that was at the bottom, it started to dry up. So at this point, what I want to do is a lot of Bora and the potatoes to cook now. I want them to get nice and soft. So I have a few tablespoons of water I'm just going to add in here, and you just want to give that a quick stir. And I'm going to lower my heat onto a medium-low heat. And what you want to do is you want to cover your Bora. And I'm going to let that cook for about 15 to 20 minutes, or just until the potatoes are nice and tender. At that point, I'll show you guys what this looks like. I just wanted to show you guys that I've had my Bora here cooking with the cover on about a medium-low heat for exactly 15 minutes now. And I see that the potatoes have taken on a nice color. Those tomatoes have given the whole dish a nice color, actually. And it smells great. And I could see that the potatoes are starting to come apart. And I just put one against the side of the pan. And it's just about done. So I see that there's a little bit of liquid left at the bottom of the pan here. And what I want to do is I want to let that liquid burn out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to raise the heat from a medium-low to a medium heat, and I'm just going to let this fry or saute without the cover for another 5 to 8 minutes, just until I see the potatoes soften just a little more and it dries down. I'm going to show you guys what this looks like when that part's done. I've had my Bora frying here for an additional 6 minutes. And you guys can see that all of the water at the bottom of the pan has dried out, and the Bora and the potatoes have taken on an even deeper color because of the tomatoes that are inside. I just tasted it for salt, and it's perfect, and it has a lot of pepper in it, which I love. Remember, if you guys do not want the pepper, then you guys can omit it or add less. What I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to dish it out, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. I've dished out my Bora into a bowl here, and it's ready to eat. Of course, you guys can eat this with rice, or you can eat it with roti. And as simple as the ingredients were for this, it tastes amazing, and the flavor it has is very distinct because of the green seasoning we added inside, and it's nice and spicy just the way I like it. I really hope you guys enjoyed cooking me again today. Please don't forget to like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also, feel free to leave a comment down below on what you would like to see me make next. Thanks for watching, everyone.